You should never, ever, 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 ever let some man or woman or non-binary person, anybody who has a voice, you should never, ever, 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 ever let them say the words, Caitlin Clark, you suck.
Welcome back to another episode of Game Changers.
Episode 13. Get it in.
I just have to have them like automatically add that into our episodes now. The little horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your week, Kels?
My week was I did not weak the week. The week weaked me. If that makes sense. The week did make me slightly weaker, but we're back and it's okay. It was a long one. How was your week?
My week was all right. Pretty average. Can't complain.
It was average.
I didn't really do much, I feel like.
It was average.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really do much these days. Anyways, welcome back to Game Changers. We've been waiting all week to do this, so here we are.
Yeah. Oh wow. Say it with some chest in that one, huh?
I did.
I'm pulling up my notes.
You pulling up your notes? Good idea.
Well, first, where can we find this?
Yes, if you would like to follow Game Changers, you can find us. Oh,
so good. Almost better than Capri Sun ginger ale.
Wow, that's big coming from you. Big claim.
Everyone knows my guilty pleasure drink is a ginger ale because I don't actually drink. So when I just like ginger ale. Like that's my
that's your thing.
You know how people are like, I just need some wine after the day. No, ginger ale. I get that first sip and I'm like, oh, we're back.
But you can follow us at Game Changers ETB on all social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can subscribe to the Empty the Bench YouTube channel at youtube.com/emptythebench or youtube.com/ETB network. Sorry, where you'll find our show and a bunch of other shows done by the other creators here. But you should watch our show because we're cool. Not that they're not cool, but we're cool.
Yeah, get your friends, watch some of our episode. You can watch it alone, but as always, I think sports is a little bit more enjoyed together.
And before we get to watching together, make sure you're subscribed.
We're so close, y'all.
We're so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you know what you need to do. You hit that little button, the little subscribe button. Boop. Plus, then you'll always all your videos from us.
Did you just have a stroke?
A little bit. I can't talk today. What did I say? Good thing Jordan's sitting here. What did I say earlier today?
She's like, hold on, let me pause my show.
My girlfriend's here today. What did I say when we were leaving the house to my mom?
Probably bye.
We were leaving, and you were like,
see you later.
Oh, yeah. She was like, Jordan and I are going to go record, and I'm going with Jordan.
Yeah. I said, Jordan and I are going to record, and I'm going with Jordan.
And she probably said, okay, I see that.
She's like, have fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't really talk these days.
Sab is just so excited when Jordan's here. She forgets how to act.
Yeah.
She sees her. She gets all starstruck. It's real cute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she's blushing. You're blushing.
Come on, girl. If you want Jordan on the podcast, let us know.
Or don't. She's coming either way next week. It's fine.
We're going to have some girl talk next week.
Oh my god, I love GT.
We're going to have some GT next week.
I love GT.
All right, hit us with it. Because sports are better enjoyed together. Right?
They're better enjoyed together, and whether you can't physically be with someone, it's just still fun with others, which is why we always say, presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching sports alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysts and commentary, and invite viewers up for a Q&A. Hey. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience. From playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching them on the commentaries and communities you care about, win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB network to find out more, including our live stream schedule.
And if you want to see us do some WNBA playoffs, I'm sure we can make that happen now that we're in the Final Four teams.
This is true.
So we could probably make some magic happen over on Playback if you're down. But speaking of the WNBA, We got lots to talk about. A lot
Sure
of
do.
news, a lot of things. So let's start with this happened yesterday, Kels. Teresa.
Well, yesterday for us. You guys aren't going to hear this
Oh, yeah.
when it's yesterday.
So then, you're so right.
You always correct me, so it just feels really
No,
good to do it back.
I'm glad. Thank you for correcting me. I'm glad you said something. And I'm sorry if every time I correct you, it like hurts your feelings.
It does a little bit.
I'm
Because I'm
sorry.
always trying so hard.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
This is a good growth moment.
This is a good growth moment. Please jump in and correct me anytime that you need. But so yeah, like this won't be yesterday for them. This will be on.
Well, if yesterday was Thursday, so then when this happened on Thursday.
This happened on
today's
Thursday.
Friday.
Teresa Weatherspoon is out as the Sky head coach, Chicago Sky. We talked last week about the Chicago Sky simply because I think that there should be a second WNBA team in Chicago. If you haven't watched last week's episode or listened to last week's episode, listen and let us know where you think the WNBA should expand to because we had some good ones.
The Miami Mommies!
Miami Mommies. But yeah, Teresa Weatherspoon was only there for a little while.
It was 3 years, right?
No, it was less than that.
Really?
It was 1 year, 2 years. 1 year. Because before that, they had this guy, and he was the head coach and the general manager, which was like.
Wait, I think I'm getting the 3 years mixed up. Wasn't it that they've had a different coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it
Probably.
was. That's what I saw.
Yeah, 1 year. She was in and out. But if you know anything about Teaspoon, she was like a baller. She was a 90s WNBA baller, 90s 2000. Angel Reese tweeted about this, saying that she was heartbroken, saying no coach had ever believed in her, boosted her confidence and all this stuff.
Oh, I saw that. It was a really big post.
Yeah.
Like what it's like to be a black woman
and she
in
knew,
sports.
yeah. And this is also I'm just going out on a limb. I'm not, I'm not saying anything here, but I did see that another person, it just randomly came up on my Twitter. I have no clue who they are. I have no clue what their relation is to the Sky and what capacity. Not saying they're equivalent to Teaspoon, but they had also gotten laid off from their position at the Sky. So I'm not saying anything. I'm not insinuating anything, but just interesting that the head coach is gone and another person who worked within the organization is announcing that they had a layoff. So things to consider. I'm not putting those things together. You might be putting those things together, but I'm not. But yeah, just kind of tough. But there has been a lot of head coach rotation in the WNBA, which is kind of unfortunate because
What do you think the main reason as to why that is?
that she got booted or that
In
there's just a
general,
lot of
her
rotation?
or
I think the job security isn't as good. If you have a losing season, who's to say you can't be booted for somebody different? I also think a lot of coaches kind of bounce between professional and college. So perhaps there's an opening at the college level. Or maybe
that's true.
a lot of those coaches are a little bit older. So maybe it's just time to retire and, enjoy life, because we also have another coach this week who was removed. Curt Miller is out as the Sparks coach, which is kind of shocking because Curt Miller's a really good coach. He was the coach of the Connecticut Sun. The 2 years they made it back to the final, 2021 and 2022. And then after that 2022 season, he went in to LA. So now the LA position is open. And I saw somebody say that Dawn Staley should consider taking it. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
It is an interesting type. I don't think I hate it, actually, though.
I don't hate it, but South Carolina without Dawn Staley, it doesn't feel right.
That's true.
But, so yeah, 2 coaches out, which means there's 2 openings. We'll see kind of where they fall. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anybody that I really want in either position, which sounds bad, but it's just because, my gut is Sue Bird would be probably a baller coach.
Oh my God, could you imagine if Sue Bird was your coach, bro?
Yeah, it'd be crazy. But I don't know. We'll see. Or I bet you Sue Bird probably do television. She'll follow a Rebecca Lobo kind of path.
Do you think Gino will ever be you know what? I'm gonna go pro now.
No. Gino is prehistoric. Gino's
Well,
been
I
at
feel like he's
UConn.
already done pro though because he's done Olympics.
Yeah.
And that shit is pro.
Gino has been at UConn for like 42 years. I don't see him ever. He's going to live and die in Gamble Pavilion.
Yeah, you're dead right.
He's not going anywhere. He's also like the highest paid person in Connecticut. He's got nowhere to go. He doesn't need to go anywhere.
Well, Connecticut is one of the richest states in the U.S.
Yeah, but he's a basketball coach.
Not our part. But.
When you consider that he is a college basketball coach and he makes
well,
so much money.
he's a. I feel like we're doing a disjustice to what because he's a college basketball coach in short, but he's like the.
No, you're right.
The college basketball.
He's the man. No, you're right.
Should we do the episode turn like this? No, I feel like that's gonna stress him out. But that was comfy for a second.
For a second, you were comfy.
Yeah,
staring into my eyes.
Well, you said it.
All right. More news. We got soccer news.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. My girl, Alyssa Naeher, Connecticut legend. We keep talking about it.
Signs an extension with Chicago Red Stars on the National Women's Soccer League through 2025.
It'll be her 10th season with the Chicago Red Stars, but good for them to, have her because the Chicago Red Stars are kind of not that great. But they hold their own. But they could do a little bit better, I'm sure, but having a good goalie helps. And Alyssa Naeher is staying. Like I said, Connecticut legend. She's from Trumbull.
It will be her 10th season with the club.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy stuff.
That is pretty sick, though, no?
That is sick. All right.
Moving on.
Moving along. We're chugging right along. Because we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot. So, where to start? Truly, where to start?
Pick a point and I'll go off you.
Well, let's ease into it. So, if you don't know,
McDonald's Crocs.
You have McDonald's Crocs? Oh, hanging up over there?
Yeah.
Kelsey's pointing at her little shoe rack over there.
I don't think you realize how bad the ADHD is.
Kelsey's over there pointing at her little shoe rack, and I'm like, what Crocs? There are no Crocs. They're keychains. It's a keychain Croc.
I rolled up after playing pickleball one night to the McDonald's in town, and I saw that the Croc was the toy, and I was just like, spectacular, give me 3. And she was like, and it was like 10:30 at night because I literally played pickleball until the lights shut off, and then I went and played. I went, oh my god, totally, dude, it's so much fun.
I've played. I just haven't played in a while.
Oh, I forgot you took lessons and everything.
I took lessons, yeah, and I broke my ankle.
this is all refreshing my memory.
Yeah, I did take lessons. I did a 6-week class.
I felt nothing was as worse as Mac being in a boot coaching, just fucking sweaty ass boot.
Yeah, I was
on the fucking turf.
I was marching around.
Dogs out.
Yeah, no, the worst was I was sitting there on the bench while your team was practicing because my team was done, and you were like, hey, can you come over and help me? And I was like, Kelsey, I'm 50 yards away. But yes, let me get up and walk on over.
I was a little inconsiderate there. Huh?
That's all right. So,
anyway, sorry.
Back on track.
Quack.
Back on the
track. We got London on the twack.
On the twack. So if you haven't been following, round 1 of the WNBA Playoffs just finished, and all of the top seeds swept all of the lower seeds. But the one I want to start with is Connecticut versus Indiana. I want to start there because I got lots to talk about on this, and I thought about hitting up our little people at Empty the Bench Network to write a little something on the website, and then I said, no, I'll save it. I'll talk about it on the pod. Here's what I got a problem with. I'm getting this close. This is what I have a problem with. You should never entertain. I'm going to look right in the microphone as I say this to the people. You who are listening should never, ever, 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 ever.
She means it's heavy.
I do. If you're in an arena and you're watching a basketball game and it just so happens that the other team has Caitlin Clark on it, you should never, ever, 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 ever let some man or woman or non-binary person, anybody who has a voice, you should never, ever, 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 ever let them say the words, Caitlin Clark, you suck. Do not entertain it. Do not entertain the idea. Tell them they're wrong, and this is why. We were watching generational talent. Yeah. We're talking Wayne Gretzky's. We're talking like Magic Johnson. We're talking like Marta. We're talking Mia Hamm. Like we are talking unparalleled talent. If you want to tell her she sucks, and she's not even gonna hear it because you're in section You're in like
Nosebleed.
Yeah, you're in section 112. Like she's not gonna hear it. I'll tell you that for free. If somebody near you says that, you just gotta turn around and be like, nah, dude, you're wrong.
Did you turn around and be like, shut the fuck?
No, but like, listen, I went to the game. If you couldn't tell, I went to the second game of the first round for Connecticut and Indiana.
How much were those tickets, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know. My dad got them. It was a little gift.
Daddy?
Yeah, he paid. We had a little daddy-daughter time.
Aw. He was just like, you want to go to this game? And you're like, yeah.
I was like, yes, please.
Yes, sure.
So, I sit down, and I have my Caitlin Clark jersey that I've worn on this podcast before. And
Iowa.
And I sit down, and this wonderful lady behind me, she is like, I thought we were in Connecticut. Like, what's with all the Indiana fans? And I want to be like, I'm not even from Indiana. I'm not even an Indiana fan.
I'm 40 minutes down the road, bitch.
I'm from Connecticut, and I just love Caitlin Clark. I'm not an Indiana fan. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan.
Big difference.
And then also, this is really funny. This is a good story. So my dad and I went to the game, and before the game, we stopped for dinner at one of the restaurants in the casino because Mohegan Sun Arena is within the Mohegan Sun Casino.
Yep.
We go to this restaurant, again, wearing my Caitlin Clark jersey. My dad's sitting with me.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing like a
khakis.
Yeah, he's wearing like a green sweatshirt. Like no team is green. He's just wearing a green sweatshirt.
He's like, I'm just here neutral, just making sure my daughter has a good time.
Yeah. And so we're sitting down, like chatting, like we had just gotten our drinks at dinner, and this like older couple was behind us, and we get up, and she gets up to go and leave, and she's like, did you come all the way from Indiana? And I like look at my dad, and I'm like, this lady's like 87 years old. I can't say no, I'm from here. So I was like, yeah.
Sam!
I said, yeah. And then she was like, oh, like what are the leaves like? I'm like, you're in Connecticut, like the leaves are changing. Like, I'm sorry they don't look any better. How are the leaves, where you're from? And I kind of like stopped for a minute. I was like, they're the same. They're the same.
And this poor woman is going to be like, and I met this wonderful lady at dinner from Indiana. She said the leaves were good.
And that, like, it was so bad. And then she was like, how'd you get here? And my dad was like, we flew. That's awesome.
Bro, I do that every episode.
You bonked?
I bonked. I got to start putting the pillow up here because I need the extra support. Stay cozy.
Stay cozy. But back to my rant. I got lots to say. Caitlin Clark doesn't suck. You can not be a Caitlin Clark fan.
She's aight.
And that's fine. You don't have to like Caitlin Clark. You don't have to
But Angel Reese?
Yeah. You're allowed to have your own opinions about who you think is a good player. But to flat out say she sucks, I think is a disservice to like the basketball history that you are watching in front of you. Anytime you go to a game and Caitlin Clark is playing, those words should never be mentioned because like she had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And then The Athletic put something out the other day that said the last time a rookie of a basketball team, professional basketball team ever did that was Magic Johnson. Like, you want to say Magic Johnson sucks at basketball? Or would you say Magic Johnson sucks at basketball? Probably not.
As someone who recently went to go play basketball the other day, because I do fear I may have to be the JV head coach at the job that I work at, I'm in no position to be saying who is good and who is not good at basketball.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, it blew my mind. And then at the end of the game, they were all, and maybe they were just like drunk men, because that's a very real possibility.
What was the crowd like, though? A lot of people popped out for some women's sports?
Oh, yeah. It was sold out.
Word.
Sold out crowd. But there was these people, and they were like, go back to Indiana. See ya. Like, goodbye. It's like, yeah.
What was the score?
It was 87-81. So, and in like
close.
And with like, I shit you not, there were like 2 minutes left, 2.5 minutes. Indiana tied it up, and then they went up, and then they got a bunch of fouls, and that's kind of how they lost the game at the end. But like, they were on fire. And the one thing I will say about the end of the game, and I say this because I watched it with my own 2 eyes, if you are the Indiana Fever and you make it to this position the next season, for the love of God, for the absolute love of everything holy and and basketball, I don't care that Kelsey Mitchell was one of the best college basketball players in the history of women's college basketball, because she was. She's on the top 10 list of scoring, top 5 list of all-time scoring.
Mm-hmm.
That girl, that poor woman.
She means this so heavy. If you could only hear how loud it is in here.
That
right
poor
now.
woman, that poor Kelsey Mitchell could not make a basket to save her life. And they gave her the ball. Like, they went down on offense 3 times. They gave her the ball 3 times, and she missed 3 times.
Me personally, I wouldn't miss. Me personally, I don't know.
And I mean, no disrespect to Kelsey Mitchell. Like I said, she had an incredible college career. She's an incredible basketball player. But god damn, you did not have the clutch gene the other night.
Damn.
And it was bad. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, give the ball to Aaliyah Boston. Give the ball to literally anybody else. They'll score.
Did Caitlin Clark, play the whole game?
Yeah. And she had the most points out of both teams, I think. If I remember correctly from
Did they leak her salary?
I don't know. She's probably making whatever the base is. But
Damn.
That's enough of that, because those are my thoughts and my feelings. Indiana could have won if they didn't give Kelsey Mitchell the ball. Also, if you say Caitlin Clark sucks, don't speak to me, because you're wrong, and I'll make sure you know. That's how I felt about it. It's great. Uh-huh. I know that's not what you were going to say. And you don't have to like her. Like, you truly don't have to like her, and you don't have to think she's your favorite player.
No, I
and,
think
whatever.
I've said it from the get. I don't love the attitude, but I think her as a player and everything is tough.
Yeah, she was definitely, talking to the refs a lot, being like, you're not going to call that kind of stuff. Which, that isn't for everybody. Not a lot of people like players like that. But I think it's a discredit to her talent to just flat out be like, you suck. Just because she's, on the other team?
That's tough.
Okay.
That's true. You're right. I think from a coaching standpoint,
hit me with it.
I really had it, and then I lost it. No, I was going to say, from a coaching standpoint, at the end of the day, no one's in the position to say that about anyone, because I feel strongly enough that if you think your opinion is that strong and you think it's that valid, why aren't you the one playing? Why are you just a fan?
Mm-hmm.
And you still showed up. So.
Yeah, and it's also you got the guys who are saying it in the crowd. It's you probably played one game of JV basketball, and then you were like, yeah, I probably could have gone pro if I didn't, blow my knee out.
Yeah, blow my knee.
Yeah,
strain my hammy.
Yeah, it's I think maybe we just need to reference the reality of the situation, and I think unfortunately the reality is no, maybe you just weren't good at basketball, and that's okay. Not everybody's good at basketball. Not everybody gets to have talent, and that's all right.
I have a sneeze stuck in my face.
But moving along to the other games, now that I've spent 10 minutes talking about it, Minnesota beat Phoenix, and what could have been Diana Taurasi's last game. Nafisa Collier dropped 42 points. That's a record. Or it's a tie record.
I was gonna say, wait.
Tied a record for points, which is just unheard of. Dropping a 40 piece. Just dropping a casual 40 piece in the playoffs.
Yeah, imagine being I'm tired. I'm yeah, me too. What'd you put up? 42. Oh shit!
Yeah, just
you carried.
A little quick 40 piece.
You played 1v5.
You did your thing, and that's all right. And I love the Lynx. I think the Lynx and Connecticut, that's the next matchup for the second round. I think that's a really good matchup.
When is that game?
Well, they start in Minnesota because Connecticut is the 4 seed. Minnesota's number 3.
How'd you go beat them all?
Yeah, but I really like the Lynx. I think Courtney Williams is such a good basketball player. I also really like Natisha Heidemann. Both of them used to be on the Connecticut Sun too. They're just both they're just dogs. They're just really good basketball players. And then what are the other ones? The Aces beat the Storm, which I don't think really shocked anybody, just because
that didn't shock
the
me,
Aces. But now we get a rematch of last year's final because New York also beat Atlanta. Atlanta was the 8 seed. New York was number 1. We get a rematch in the semifinal game of last year's final. And New York's hungry. They were all talking about it the other day or today about how, a loss like that isn't just you wake up the next day and you forget about it. They were hurting for weeks afterwards. So they're going to come out hungry. Need to take a breath.
I was gonna say, take a drink after that one. Like, take a sip, dude.
Water break.
Everyone hydrate.
Water break, everybody.
Ginger ale, water, do your thing. Ugh.
All right. Try to get back in my rundown.
We only have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, no, we're good though. All right. Now we got to talk a little bit about the unfortunate situation that I was supposed to call her Courtney Williams, that Alyssa Thomas was talking about after they beat Indiana, which, like I said, they beat. Well, in the first game, they blew out Indiana by like 30. Like they absolutely
Destroyed them.
They absolutely like wiped the floor.
Yeah.
And then this last game, the one that I was at, the Connecticut Sun won 87-81. There was talk after the game by Alyssa Thomas being like, yeah, in my 11-year career, I've never met or like encountered like more like racist and upsetting fan behavior than like the Indiana fans. Yeah, I pulled this off of my sock. It's a string.
I was like, are you okay?
It's a string.
It's a string.
It's a string. So that's really upsetting to hear about.
There's just not a place for that in sports, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
It's not a place for that anywhere, but
yeah.
just
And,
ridiculous.
A friend of the show / ETB collaborator, Zan, he does his own shows and stuff. He sent me
Little plug.
Yeah, he sent me a tweet of a fan at the game who, if you don't know, Dejanay Carrington from the Connecticut Sun won Most Improved Player in the WNBA this year, or from the WNBA this year. And there was a fan, or I don't even think I should give that person the title of fan. There's a person in attendance wearing a shirt that said like no nails or no more nails and had like, really long dramatic nails on. And it comes from a place of that Dejanay Carrington always has her nails done. She's always got her makeup done. She plays, that's part of, how she presents herself when she plays. And just like making fun of it in like a really like tone deaf way. But yeah, like you said, just like no room for it. And like,
There's no need.
And like the W,
I'm always, sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just always very curious when people, oh, hold on. Carrington's girlfriend, Indiana Fever player, Alyssa Smith detailed some of the treatment Carrington has been subjected to. My girlfriend has been getting death threats, followed called a type of shit Smith posted on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say beforehand is like, I don't know, for me, for a lot of people, I know, like I can probably speak confidently for the both of us, like we don't fuck around with any of shit like that. Like there's just no need.
Absolutely not.
But like I always am so curious as to like someone's thought process when they go and like he had to, like they had to make that.
Mhm.
They had to then present it and bring it, and like they were like, yeah, this is gonna land well.
This is gonna get 'em,
like
yeah.
what's the thought process? That's what always gets me, because there's so many steps and choices that you're doing before you get there where I'm just like, run it back. Like,
yeah, and like
let's think about this.
and like how do you think it's funny, or like
I don't get it.
like it just like it really truly like none of it makes sense. And that person has now been banned from Mohegan Sun, where the Sun play. But like I think the W has, always been a like a juggernaut and like a leader in the sports space, and condemning racism and backing up what they think and what they believe with action. Like when Breonna Taylor was murdered, they all protested on the court in the Wubble. They all protested on the court. They were marching in social justice parades and really, like putting like a meaning behind what they were preaching. And the W has always kind of been like a very leading league in that regard, and compared to like other professional sports leagues in North America. So it's like, it's always strikes me like weird that like this league that's so progressive, so anti-racism, so like doing up like, you belong, you can play here, like to the max. Like how can you call yourself a fan of a league if that's how you choose, if that's what you want to be. If you want to be somebody who
It's
makes
just
fun
crazy
of,
that like you literally
other
went out of your
players.
way to do that and then bought a ticket and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and bring this. Like, you're there for the wrong reason.
yeah, and like the W's been around long enough where like people do see themselves in athletes. Like it had, all these Black women to inspire all of these young Black players to pursue basketball if they so choose. It's got young white women to have white kids to try to play basketball, or kids of all races. Like all of these people are all here to support the game of basketball. There's a lot of queer representation in the WNBA. They just had a non-binary player who just retired. Their name is slipping me, but they played for the Sparks. Like you have all of these like great things, and you kind of dip your toes in all these different areas of representation. So how can you truly be a WNBA fan if you're racist, if you're sexist, if you're homophobic? Like those two things don't go together.
Nope.
You can't have it. And
the WNBA issued a statement. The WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-related activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary.
Yeah. And I think a good thing to kind of refer to here is that Angel Reese tweeted after all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did she say that she had, she'd been talking about this for a while, but she had also mentioned that, like, a lot of it has to do with the comparisons between her and Caitlin Clark and how, like, that narrative of having a Black player versus a white player who are coming into their rookie years, who are two very different players, but like are always going to kind of be talked about within the same context. Like the media has kind of created this narrative of like it's white versus Black at the end of the day, which is not right of the media to do, or not right of anybody to kind of think about. As like I said, they're two different basketball players, two different teams, two different backgrounds, two different playing styles, two different positions. Like they really truly could be no further. Like they're so not together. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm trying to say that.
No, I get it.
But like, it's just crazy. And, I personally, when I was there, at the game, like there were definitely a lot of Indiana fans and they were definitely very vocal. I personally didn't hear any like racist things being said or homophobic things being said. But like, I don't know. It's like exhausting. Like it's just like another one. Like, why can't we all be better than this?
Mm-hmm.
Like why can't we just all recognize that? Like, yeah, we have our differences, and you might not like somebody for whatever reason. Even if it's rooted in hate or not rooted in hate. Like, you might just not like Caitlin Clark because you don't like her jump shot. Like, you know what I mean? Or like you don't like Angel Reese because you don't like that she rebounds so much and she wins them, and that hurts your feelings because she's on a team that is like your team's rival, right? Like, there are reasons to hate a player, and I say hate like this because I just went on a rant about how you say you hate Caitlin Clark. You're wrong. There are so many reasons to hate a player inside and out for many different reasons, but race or sexuality or identity should never be the reason. If that's your reason, you gotta like check that at the door, and you gotta like figure something out, because there's no room for it. And there has everybody's been saying there's been no room for years, but like truly there's no room for it now, and there's not going to be room for it as time goes on, as the world kind of goes through its turmoil and figures itself out, and like realizes that like, hey, being racist is like so fucking harmful, or being homophobic, like that's really hurtful. No room for it.
No.
Any other basketball thoughts?
I'm good.
Just be mindful. That's true. Looking ahead a little bit to our next round games, we've got the Sun and the Lynx, and the Liberty and the Aces, which are both best of 5 instead of best of 3. So those will be good games. Maybe we'll do a playback. Who knows?
Still trying to do a playback. Next week we might sauce it up and do a little GT. It might be a little trio. Me, Kay,
Okay.
I'm K. Me, Sav, and J. I don't know why I would just refer to myself as. I was gonna say KSJ,
KSJ.
like Kel Sav J, but she's really over here watching her.
She's watching Golden Bachelor. Nobody.
Bachelorette.
Sorry, yeah, you're so right. Bachelorette. That's on me.
Thanks y'all so much for watching. Appreciate you, all the love and support and that you guys do and don't give us. It's so great.
We appreciate you if you're out there listening, and even if you're not, hopefully you find us soon and
you rewatch all of these and just fall in love with us, because why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Make sure you follow Game Changers anywhere you get your podcasts at Game Changers ETB, and you can listen anywhere you get your podcasts. I got those two sentences merged together.
And please subscribe. We're so close to getting another
YouTube.com/ETB network.
And I appreciate y'all so much, and I say we hit him with the music now.
Woo!